5 right now, and in the past this has been a really challenging activity for some students. So because I'm not going to see you in class, some of you, until Thursday or Friday, I want you to hear everybody hear the same explanation, so that's why I'm putting this video together. First thing we want to do, as always, read the directions, and the directions tell us to read the formula below. Here is the formula right here, and that formula tells us that multiple resources plus a good climate equals a high per capita GDP. For this particular activity, we're going to find 5 nations that prove this theory in purple right, that's the yes side, and 5 who prove it wrong, that's the no side. And the no side is going to be way more challenging than the yes side. You may not choose the United States for obvious reasons. You're going to record the data that you have in the boxes and use the explanation box to define your reasoning. And hint, see definitions of good climate and high per capita GDP for assistance. So at the bottom of the sheet, I've given you a definition. A good climate means not extreme. It's a fertile climate where you can sustain crop growth and you have water for human life. Per capita GDP, any total that's over 20,000, we are going to consider a high per capita GDP. So if it doesn't meet that threshold of 20,000, we can't say it has a high GDP per capita. I'll give you another hint here. The no side countries, you need to have either no resources plus a bad climate equals a high per capita GDP, or you've got to have plenty of resources plus a good climate equals a low per capita GDP. It has to work one way or the other on the no side. All right, so let's go back at the top. Remember I said you can't use the United States as an example. So one of the benefits of being the teacher is you get to do things that students can't do. So I'm going to use the United States as an example. Per capita GDP of the United States is around $59,000. Resources that we have in our country include coal, iron ore, we have timber, natural gas, and good agricultural land. Our climate type, we are mainly a mixture of humid continental and humid subtropical, meaning we are below the tropics, we are not within the tropics. But humid would lead you to believe that it's very wet in those two places, and it is when you compare it to other climates around the world, so that's good for crop growth. The western part of the United States is a mix of steppe and some desert, and that's why out west there's really not much farming going on outside of livestock ranching. Explanation. All right, so I'm going to look at all the things that I put in these boxes. This box, the explanation box, is where you're going to make your money. It's the most important box on the whole sheet. I will look at your explanations to see if they make sense, if you're doing a good job explaining why the United States proves this theory right. So my explanation is the U.S. has plenty of resources and a great climate for farming, therefore it has a very high per capita GDP. And if you don't think 59,000 is high, then you should pack up and move to Afghanistan, where the per capita GDP is about $800 a year. So I've done one here. This front side, again, is going to prove the theory right. So the front side's easier than the back side. The back side, you have to prove the theory wrong. And to do that, you got to go one of 2 ways. And they're listed down here at the bottom of the sheet. As always, message me with questions. But Finding 5 is your online assignment for this week. And if you do have questions while you're working on it, feel free to contact me. Have a great day, guys.